Grimes, former sheriff of a small town, wakes up from a coma in a zombie apocalypse, unaware of what has happened to the world. His journey begins in Atlanta in the search of his family. Along the way, he finds survivors who have joined together to try to figure out how to live in this new world.
Throughout the course of AMC's smash hit show The Walking Dead, Rick Grimes and his new family encounter hordes of the living dead, but also other groups who prove to be more dangerous than the zombies themselves. In this new world, social order has been lost, and it's up to each individual to decide how they are going to live. This being said, there are three distinct categories of characters: the naive youths, the stubborn older generation, and the adaptable individuals. The youths of the New World tend to be innocent and follow the direction of the leaders due to the fact that they cannot think and act for themselves. The older generation, on the other hand, do have a strong sense of reality and understanding of society before the apocalypse. This leads the stubborns to want to keep the fundamental rules of the pre-apocalyptic world intact. However, the adaptables try to keep hold of the previous ideologies, but are willing to do whatever it takes to keep themselves alive. The interaction of the three categories of characters leads to the untimely death of many of the members in the youth and the stubborns. Keeping this in mind, the show seems to indirectly suggest that in a society in shambles, innocence and high moral standards are weaknesses and will get you killed.
In general, the youths, illustrated here by the characters of Mika and Sophia, don't know how to fight the walkers or other humans who pose a danger. Their best defense is running. At one point, even Sophia's mother, Carol, gives the advice just to run and that she will be safe in doing so. Obviously, Sophia is too sweet and only follows her mother's misguided advice and thus does not survive on the show very long. Similarly, one of the other few children on the show is the young Mika. She, just like Sophia, is too kind and caring for the harsh and somewhat surreal walker-infested world. At one point, Mika even remarks that, "I don't have to be tough, I can run, I'm good at that." Again, this does not work out too well.
However, there is one youth that belongs in the third category of characters rather than the first: Carl Grimes, the son of Rick Grimes. In the beginning, he is very similar to both Mika and Sophia. However, the difference is he quickly changes. Unlike the two girls, he is continuously willing to use a gun to defend himself and his family. It should be noted that Carl is still alive on the show, so this furthers the idea that the show is portraying the loss of innocence as a desirable trait. Characters that are able to move from Category 1 to Category 3 realize the harshness of their new world and are no longer innocent. They change their expectations and perceptions for the new world.
You have to change. Everyone does now. Things don't just work out.
The older generation is not willing to change for the new world. They aren't willing to get down and dirty to protect the group or even to protect themselves. Their main focus is to not lose themselves or common morals that they stood by before the Walker outbreak. There are two characters that are in this category: Dale and Herschel. Dale, no matter the circumstance, wants to give people a fair fighting chance, even if they potentially pose a threat to the group.
Let's just do what's right.
Similarly, Herschel is constantly thinking about keeping humanity, whether that is through keeping a running watch or reading the Bible. Furthermore, Herschel wants to work and compromise with other groups.
Got to start giving people a chance,
rather than shoot at the first sign of disagreement. Both of these moral men do end up perishing much sooner than other less morally guided individuals, thus showing that if an individual keeps to their morals and show any compassion for humanity, that humanity in turn will just take advantage of them and eat them alive.
The adaptables have changed for the new world. They would rather change than be changed. However, it should not be forgotten that they do try to keep to the pre-apocalyptic human moral code, but will easily break that code when they feel it is necessary for survival.
You once said that we don't kill the living.
Oh, that was before the living tried to kill us.
In general, they're the ones who tend to be the leaders because of their willingness to make tough decisions. Since these individuals can make and carry through difficult decisions, the show portrays them as strong and that you need characteristics like these in order to survive. The main character, an unspoken leader, Rick, exemplifies this. At the end of Season 2, Rick was close to killing a potentially dangerous, but still relatively innocent individual, but was only stopped through the advice given by Dale not to show such brutality in front of Carl. An even better example is Carol. At the beginning of the show, she is nothing more than a meek and battered housewife, but somewhere in between Seasons 2 and 3, she goes through a transformation that leaves her as a cold survivalist. When a deadly sickness breaks out, she is willing to kill, or rather burn, 2 of the sick who have not even died yet. In the world before the Walkers, she would have been a murderer and rightfully punished. However, even after it is known that she was responsible for the killing, little is done. She is merely told to leave, but mid-Season 4, she is reintroduced and more or less forgiven for her actions. So wouldn't keeping her on as a character suggest that those willing to commit unspeakable crimes are rewarded in a less organized world? Should we be any less human even in a partially dead world?
For a show that outwardly seems to be the stereotypical blood and guts zombie-killing pop culture phenomenon, The Walking Dead actually has a much deeper social commentary. The so-called walkers merely act as a catalyst in the show in order to discuss the shift in human morality, when all social order is virtually lost.
However, the show insinuates that when society is broken, all previous morals should be loosened or lost altogether. Those who are guided by a strong moral compass or are innocent are portrayed as weak and consequently are lost to the amorality of society. In the end, the thing to remember is that as a society, we have a choice. We can decide how we are going to live both today and in the unknown future.